All right, good evening. We'll call the City of Norwich Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, January 11th at 7 PM. We'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, Dave Martin,
Present.
Dottie Travers,
Present.
Bob Phoenix,
Present.
Greg Slough,
Present.
Peter Kuprak,
Present.
Mark Benjamin present, also present, Catherine Rose and Richard Shuck, operating and staff. We do have a full, we have all members, 2, 3, 5, 6, right? So we got 6. We need to seat 5, correct?
Yeah, is
Oh,
Dave
yeah.
Martin there?
Yeah, Dave is there.
Okay.
All right. All right, if I will, does anybody have a conflict? Hearing none, I'll continue to. Rich, we've 5 vote, correct? It's been so long since I had 6, I don't remember.
Yeah, you only need 5. And
Right,
you only-
okay.
oh, Right.
So, all right, if nobody's got a conflict, I will continue to operate and I will just cede my vote to the last voting alternate. I don't need to vote on this tonight. Everybody's good with that? Any-
No objection, Bob Phoenix.
Okay. All right, communications,
None.
acceptance of the November 9th, 2021 and the December 3rd meeting minutes. Guys received them, both with quick, easy minutes. Any errors, omissions, or corrections?
Bob
I didn't
Phoenix, motion to accept.
I second it. Dottie Travers.
Bob, that was for both minutes, correct?
Correct.
Motion was made and second. Any comments?
Okay, all right.
Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Dave,
Yes.
Greg,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Dottie,
Yes.
Bob,
Aye.
Mark Benjamin, I also. Minutes have been accepted as presented. Old business,
None.
new business, application V12 63 Baltic Road. Request for a variance of zoning regulation, section 1.1. Bulk requirements, just a second, my screen. I got everybody's picture in my screen here. So I can't. Bulk requirements, 1, to reduce lot frontage from 150 to 557.52. Number 2, reduce lot area from 40,000 to 10,198 square feet. And 3, reduce side yard setback from 30 feet to 15 feet, 3 inches. Also request relief from section 4.3.1.11 to reduce the minimum lot area to be serviced by a private well and septic to 10,198 square feet for the construction of a single-family home. Property of Mark Cohen, application of Mark Cohen, map 13, block 1, lot 63, R40 zone. Okay. Rich, anything?
Nothing. So I don't have an exhibit list, but what we do have for the exhibits is the notice of public hearing. I got the site plan, the revised site plan, and the application and supporting documents.
All right, Rich, when we spoke this morning, you talk about we spoke about a letter from Pete Davis, former zoning enforcement officer.
Yeah, I guess there wasn't a letter. I thought there may have been a letter from Peter. I guess it was just conversations that the owner had with Pete.
Okay.
and based on, you know, our conversation and based on my conversation with the city engineer, the applicant had his engineer revise the site plan today to pull the driveway off of Lafayette Street and bring it straight in off of Baltic Road. And that was the one that I sent out this afternoon, and I uploaded it to the website this evening.
Okay. Everybody received the revised site plan?
Yes, Dottie, yes.
Dave?
Here.
Yeah, I got it in front of me too.
Okay. Peter, you said yes?
Yes.
And Bob, you said yes, correct?
That's correct.
And I heard Dottie say yes. So we're
Yes,
all operating off off the revised site plan. All right, would the applicant please come forward, explain to the board what you'd like to do and why you need these variances to do it, what the hardships are?
I don't know if you can hear me too well through the mask. My name is Mark Cohen. I live at 5 Library Lane, Gales Ferry, Connecticut, 06335. I bought this lot from the city of Norwich a number of years ago. And then when I did decide to do something, I went to see Peter, and Mike Schaefer was the town planner and Peter was the director of planning at the time. And then it just kind of fell through the cracks with so many other things going on. And then I just kind of brought it back to light. We thought we developed a pretty good plan, knowing that Lafayette Street, but then Richard brought up a good point, and it was just a matter of just moving the driveway back over because it's an H20 septic system. So we were planning on driving on the original septic system anyhow. So it's just a matter of bringing the driveway straight in rather than off Lafayette Street. The deeds next door have some conflict as to whether, you know, who really owns Lafayette. If I was to guess, Lafayette Street's probably owned by someone back in the 1900s. The only owner between myself and the city of Norwich, I think this gentleman bought it back in 1909 or something, this lot. And he held it till he passed away. And then obviously the town took it because they didn't pay the taxes, obviously couldn't. So just looking to put a kind of a unique, a home, a 16-foot wide home. Just so you know, it's not totally ununique. Up on Waikis Hill Road, you have a 49-foot lot that has a small house. I'll put this in the record just so that you have it. You can look at it. It's just pretty interesting, the similarities. The only difference with this house is we're using the land to go this way. They put the house the opposite way. They put the lawn on the 49. And it actually looks good. There's actually a picture in there of it through the town's website. But it's pretty cut and dry. We had Uncas out there. We dug the test holes. What really got me going was the fact that they have a fire hydrant and city water right next door now, or right, you know, right on the property. I reached out to my attorney, Mark Brantz, and that's why you see the typewritten part for the hardship. I wanted to make sure that it was written correctly. I don't know enough about that kind of stuff. Just looking to build a 2-story. Does everyone have a picture of the conceptual house?
What is that, 55 Waikis Hill? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up the 55 Waikis Hill on the screen so you guys can see it, what he passed out here. Because he was discussing it, so I should bring
That's
it
what's
up
gonna
here
be
for you
it.
guys. Now, am I sharing the GIS map screen with you?
I'm looking
Or-
at the site plan.
Okay, so let me new share.
I'm sorry to confuse you with this. I just,
Yeah.
it was
No.
something I had in
No,
my
it's fine.
file. I was going through it tonight. I said, oh,
Okay, now, can you see that?
Yep.
The GIS map. Okay, so I just want, because he was talking about it, I just wanted to bring that up to your attention, that was what he was comparing to.
That's similar. No, wait.
It was just a consistent, it's something I found years ago, and I drove by it years ago and took pictures. I thought it was pretty unique, and I was like, oh, this is, the only difference is and try to use the
Any-
whole width of
any
my
questions
property.
there?
I turned it the other way and I found a house plan that my wife
No.
really liked. Kind of unique, only 16 feet wide, but if you look at the way the stairway is inside, it's pretty unique.
Yeah, it looked pretty nice. I agree with that.
And with Uncas coming out and approving the septic system, and then having city water, it makes it a whole different scenario rather than try to have a radius, a 75-foot radius, and all that kind of stuff. Now, do I need to submit all the cards?
No, I have them all. You emailed them to me,
Okay,
so I'm good to go.
I got a bunch of them back, these ones.
Oh, yeah, all I needed was just to put them in the mail.
I think the only one I didn't get back was the Florida one. No, I got the Florida one back. Huh.
Mark, you still there? Yep.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
All right, so we saw what you have. I understand what you're saying. I would just like a little better description of the hardship, or I don't know, is there anything else you'd like to add? I don't want, I don't want to walk you down a low road here.
Are you speaking directly to me?
To you, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to refer to, I had Attorney Mark Brantz write the hardship for me, so that that's why it's kind of cut and pasted in here.
Okay,
For me to interpret his words would be not fair.
Rich, do you think you should at least read it in for the,
Yeah, I mean, he can read that in as
Oh.
his hardship. It's in the application, but he could read that in for his stated hardship.
I'll be glad to do that. The hardship arises from the fact that the lot predates the adoption of current zoning regulations. It has not and cannot be merged with any abutting property because one side to the south is Lafayette Street, a paper street, and we don't own the lot to the north. The lot width is 57.52 feet and the side yard setbacks are 30, leaving 0 feet in which the dwelling can be built. No usable house can be that narrow, rendering the property unusable for any purpose permitted in the zone. The variance sought is 15.3 feet for each side yard to allow for a modest 16 by 38-foot home. The hardship is not self-created because the lot was created in 1906, has remained the same size ever since.
okay. Thank you. Any questions, Dave?
Yeah, what's this 100% reserve area on the map?
Any new septic system anywhere in the state of Connecticut or any health district, you have to provide a regular septic system.
Okay,
And then you also have to provide 100% reserve area for future use.
got it.
So, and it has to completely conform to today's standards.
Okay, so this would be the one that you plan to build right there, and then this would be the reserve one.
Exactly.
Got it.
And they have
Okay.
to have test holes within certain,
Got it.
so many feet, that kind of thing. So,
Yep,
that's where that
okay,
comes from.
understand now.
Yep, that's just a standard law now.
Yep,
Yeah, so what they were talking about was the two septic areas, one being here and one being down here.
Yep.
One's a reserve and one's a primary.
I understand now. Okay.
All set, Dave?
For now, yeah.
Greg?
I have nothing.
Peter?
No, nothing at all. Who owns a paper
Dottie.
street?
I lost my glasses. That sounds like-
Yeah.
Well, that,
Dottie?
I'm all set.
Okay, go ahead, Rich.
well, I was just gonna answer Peter's question as far as who owns the paper street. That's always a very good question when we get into paper streets and law on accepting roads, whether they're accepted, abandoned, discontinued. So it's kind of up in the air. I did bring for reference, so everybody can kind of get a reference. This is the 1906 subdivision map
Wow.
or layout of that area. So the property that we're discussing tonight, actually back in 1906 was lot 62, 33, 34, 8, and 9. All of these on the side here.
Wow.
It is referred to it on both maps also up in the corner.
Yeah, and this map here is referred to on his site plan.
Okay.
I figured that might
Raleigh
help.
Road. Huh, Electric Road.
Yeah,
All
so
right, Bob, save the best for last.
Thank you. Yeah, I do have two questions. One is for Rich and the other one is for the applicant. Rich, on the subdivision map that you just provided.
Yeah.
Was that an approved subdivision way back in the day?
Well, there was no zoning in 1906. Zoning didn't come into effect until 1924. So
Okay.
when you get into the real old law on all of this old stuff, technically, if it's a paper road on a map, it's a road until somebody proves one way or the other that that the property reverted back to the original property owners or was merged with the abutting properties. You have to look at it as it's a paper road. Most towns, what they do is they go through a list. They go through all of these roads. They officially abandon them. And through the abandonment, half center line of the road goes to each abutting property.
I see. But this
Question, Rich.
particular plan, well, we can call it a diagram now because it's not official. Was it ever submitted to the town?
No, this is from the town clerk's records. This is a city, was a city map. You know?
so this
Hey,
is
Rick.
like official city map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Rich, whereabouts is this in Norwich? Give me an idea where it is.
Just up from St. Joseph's Church heading towards the Baltic. Just after you round the corner, you head down
Okay.
the flat straightaway. It's on the right-hand side.
What is part of the old mill, some of the old mill diagram, looking at Notre Dame Street and Lafayette and Lucille Street. That looks like it might have been drawn up by the mill owners.
Probably could have.
well, if you notice,
Yeah.
it says Electric Road. There was a trolley that went through there.
Yeah, there
too.
was a trolley that ran out to Baltic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Peter, to answer your question more succinctly, do you recall the variance we had to give for the bridge construction or the bridge repair right away?
Yeah.
About 6, 7 months ago. This is about 4 properties
Yeah.
south of that.
Yep, I got it.
It's out there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So back to my next question is to the property. I'm sorry, to the applicant and property owner. Mr. Cohen, do you, once you build this, if approved, and you are allowed construction, do you intend to live in this property?
No, it's actually, hopefully my daughter and granddaughter will occupy it. She went through a divorce. That's what kind of prompted this thing too. My wife and I live in Gale Street. We're gonna stay in Gale Street. We have 5 grandchildren, so.
All right. So,
It is-
so you intend it for a member of your family then?
Yeah, I own a number of properties. I'm not in the business of selling them. I'm in the business of keeping them.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you very much. I appreciate your indulgence.
All right. Anything else from any other board members? I know we've been around once.
So, yeah, I have a question. Is there any, as far as a hardship, do we have any precedents on anything like this where an existing old property?
So the land itself in its conceptual existence with those 5 lots from 1906 has existed conceptually from that point.
Okay,
So it's really a lot of record that doesn't fall anywhere into our regulations because it's not an existing lot of record that was created in a subdivision because we didn't have subdivision prior to, well, subdivision came into effect in 1952 in Norwich. Zoning came into effect in 24, 25. So the lot was created, you know, and this map here clearly shows that it's an official city map.
Yep.
So by essence, this is the R40 zone. So if he's not allowed to build anything on the property and variances aren't granted, in essence, it would be a taking because it would render the property useless. You know, that's kind of my understanding of, you know, the property existed. And it didn't get cut from another piece of property and nobody created a non-conforming lot purposely. It's just existed for all of these years.
Right. So in essence, I mean, it's actually larger than the original, than this, because it's combining several.
Right.
Yes.
And in reality, today, the city, if we had that parcel of property today, we would not sell it to an individual person as a non-conforming lot. We would try to work something out with the abutter to merge it with their property because we want to get away from non-conforming lots, but that's what the city did. It's a non-conforming lot. They sold it. And at the time, I mean, hindsight's 2020, but they should have worked with an abutter to put it with that.
Did, by any chance, was anybody on this commission when that previous one that I showed you that was 49 feet wide go through? They must have had to get a variance, correct?
I don't know.
Oh,
I believe I was, and you and I have a difference of opinion on that lot and that house. I don't, it's a personal opinion. I've cited that property on numerous applications. That, to me, my opinion, looks like it squeezed in and it was a sin. I'm sorry to disagree with you on it. I think sometimes things shouldn't happen. It's one that I've referenced a lot of times when we get into a tight lot that to me, it looks like a tiny home shoehorned into something that was made into more than it should and actually a detriment to the neighbor. But
This, I mean, I'm looking at the assessor's card that he brought with it, and it says that house was built in 1900.
we might be talking about a different house then. This is on the bottom of Wall Weakest, right about the flats, right?
yes. I apologize for bringing it up.
It's a 2-story gray wood shakes right about the church,
Brown Colonial.
Yeah,
Brown Colonial, yeah.
On my plan, I chose to situate the house parallel with the long side of the lot as opposed to what you're talking about.
Right,
To be more consistent with what you're looking for.
okay. Well, there's about 2 of them that I've been part of in the city, and there's another one over off Hobart Street, I think, over in the Greenville section. That is another one that I drive by and it's like, yeah, I did that.
I've never seen that.
Again, I apologize. I won't bring it up again.
Okay. No, I mean, yours is a unique situation because yours has a lot going for it. And there's only so much land, there's not much you can do with it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Before I open it up from the board? Dave, all set?
Yeah, I think I've asked all my questions at this point. Yeah.
Okay. Greg,
I'm good, sir.
Peter,
Here's good.
Dottie,
Yeah, I'm all set.
Bob,
Yeah, I'm good to go. Thank you.
Rich, is there anyone else in the audience?
There is nobody, it's just us.
There we go.
Is there anyone else online?
We do have one person in the audience who is our temporary staff, and she wanted to come see what a zoning board of appeals meeting was
Okay.
about.
All right, just before I call for Mr. Cohen, is there anything else you'd like to add before I offer opposition before I open it up to citizen comment?
No, I appreciate everyone's time and effort and Richard for bringing up that point today and having to kind of scramble around today. It made perfect sense. It certainly made it a lot easier for me moving forward. If we do decide in the future that we can figure out where Lafayette Street ownership is, which I really don't care, but thank you very much for your time, both here and Zoom.
Is there anyone else to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone else to speak in favor? Hearing none. Is there anyone to speak in opposition? Any opposition? Any opposition? Hearing none. Mr. Cohen, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you, sir.
Is there anyone on the board that has any other questions before I call to close this?
I'm good. Good.
Hearing none. Can I get a motion to close to go
I
into?
didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, I got two computers going. Alexa's to talk to me. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to close to go into discussion.
Can I get a second?
Bob Phoenix, second.
All those in favor, close?
Greg,
Bob
aye.
Phoenix, aye.
Dave, I.
Dottie, I.
Peter, I.
Aye. Mark Benjamin, aye. All right. Unanimous motions close, going into discussion. Just trying to find, can you bring the back up on the screen, the appeal, the application, please, Rich? All right, I'm looking for the V2212 or whatever that I gotta read.
Oh, the notice?
Yeah, the notice, thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Application V 2112, 63 Baltic Road, request a variance zoning regulation 1.1 residential bulk requirements. Reduce lot yard from 150 to 57.52, reduce lot area from 40,000 to 10,198, and reduce side yard setbacks from 30 feet to 15'3". Also request relief from section 4.311 to reduce minimum lot area to be serviced by a private well and septic to 10,198 square feet for the construction of a single-family home, property of Mark Cohen, map 13, block 1, lot 63 in an R40 zone district. We've heard the minutes. Could I get a motion, please?
We're gonna move to continue.
Okay.
Move to continue.
Move to continue.
Yeah, we haven't had any discussion or anything. It's-
Well, you make a motion,
Yeah,
then we
then it's
discuss it.
seconded, then you have your discussion.
I move, we move to approve this. This is Greg.
Okay. Would you like to add a hardship?
Yes, due to the lot size and the inability to use the lot for anything else, I believe that's a good hardship to go with.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Dottie, second it.
All right. Now we can open it up to discussion. Want to just go around?
I guess I'll go first, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Seeing I made the motion. I'm looking at this property, looking at everything that we have here and you guys can see online. I seriously see, there's really two options with this. We either approve it or the land sits there like it's gonna be forever. I think that Mr. Cohen has done a good job of dotting his i's and crossing his t's, and the health department has no issue with it. They've already looked at it and given it their approval with certain conditions. I know in the application, it talked about a well, but the well is really a moot point because that has city water that comes off of Baltic Road now, so a well is not required any longer. So I see no reason not to approve this and let Mr. Cohen do something with this property that would otherwise be just sitting there forever.
Dottie?
Yeah, I agree with Greg there. You're looking at when the property became 1900s. I looked at the house. The house is really a cute house. I believe it was like, what, around 850 square feet? Mr. Cohen, the thing I noted while I looked online here, the upstairs has a large bathroom, but I was looking the half bath. Is that physically upstairs too, adjacent to the large one? I wasn't sure when I looked at it. Or is it located downstairs?
It's closed to the public for comment on that, Dottie. He can't answer that now. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. Okay, I mean,
Well, let's look at the plan and.
To answer your question, Dottie, the small bathroom's downstairs, the big bathroom's upstairs.
okay, the downstairs I couldn't quite see in the plan. I looked closely, but I couldn't online.
Trying to get to it here.
Now, I knew it was probably physically there, but I couldn't pin it. That's all right. No problem.
It's getting
I
close.
kind of agree with Greg, though, as to what he said.
Dave?
You utilize the land instead of leaving it dormant.
In addition to what everybody else has said, I mean, the lot was created, 1906, prior to zoning and all that. The street, again, the paper street obviously puts a wrinkle on what to do with the lot that kind of, adds a wrinkle to that. And the fact that the city actually sold this lot to this individual is also a contributing factor to the hardship, in my opinion.
Bob?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree completely with Dave about the sale of the property to Mr. Cohen from the city. Somebody somewhere up in the powers that be must have had some sort of inclination that this property was usable. I don't think they would have sold it to Mr. Cohen to be a park. So I'm sure that somebody was looking towards future development, and to put a building on top of the small property that there would increase the tax base to the city. So I'm going to speak in favor of this.
Peter?
No, I'm all set. I'm gonna vote in favor of it, that's for sure.
Okay. So again, I'm not voting, but I already kind of said everything I was gonna say. The lot, I agree with all of you. The city sold the lot to them. It's been a contiguous lot since the 1900s. He's entitled to a reasonable use of the property. The fact that the water is picked up, you don't have to get a well and a septic system in a reserve within that tight of a space. These were all things that I looked at this morning as a concern before I spoke to Rich about it. The history of the lot being the fact that the planning director, probably 15 years ago, worked with this property owner and came up with a plan and told him the variance was a process he had to go through. I'm sure Mr. Davis wouldn't have sent him down that road if he didn't see it as being a viable proposal. All that being said, you guys made it easy for me tonight not to vote on this. So I won't be the one voting I would be voting to approve it if I were voting, but now I don't have to say I approved another little house in the city. So at that, I'll call for a vote unless anybody else has anything else to add. Greg, it was your motion. Greg,
I vote to approve.
Dottie,
I vote to approve.
Dave,
Approved.
Peter Kuprek,
Yeah, I approve.
Bob Phoenix.
I concur.
Motion carries unanimous vote. It has been approved. Mr. Cohen, there is a 15-day appeal period. Before you do anything with that, please talk to Rich about how that works and how you can go about filing this with the town clerk's office. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Staff updates?
No, nothing pressing, nothing exciting going on.
All right.
I'll send an email. I'll send an email out to all the ZBA members. It's actually has to do, just so you guys are informed on the Public Act, I think it's 19-29, which is the new statutes that came into effect January 1st regarding marijuana dispensaries, regarding accessory apartments as of right in any single-family residential property, which in essence turned every single-family residential neighborhood into the possible of being full of two-family homes. Really, they're calling them accessory apartments, but you can't put any restrictions on them. So I'll send you out an email with a document so you're aware of it. It became effective January 1st of this year. There's an opt-out clause that the city can opt out. And that opt-out date is January 2023.
Oh.
So it's effective this year, but you can opt out up till next year as a city. The town that I live in, I sit on our planning commission, we opted out because we already have regulations for accessory apartments, such as the city of Norwich already has regulations. So I'll send this document out and you guys can read it and get a better understanding. It was pushed through as a, we need more housing, and this is going to create all sorts of opportunities, which personally, it goes against all the fundamentals of zoning. And why would you have a single family residential neighborhood anymore?
Right.
So, Rich, I think this is very similar to what we allowed years ago where you could put a second house on a lot if you could meet your setbacks. And until the city opted out of that, there was like a gold rush on that where people came in. So if I were to apply for one right now, the city would grant it to me prior to.
So I've had the discussion with the city attorney for guidance. And as of right now, if somebody was to come in to apply for something, I would guide them in the direction of our current regulations until I'm told differently.
Right, but an educated consumer could push you to fight for this, correct?
I'm going by the advice of the city.
Okay, gotcha. I'll be in for my application tomorrow.
I'm seeking
There you
guidance.
go.
All right. All right. Anything else? We voted on the new schedule for last month, for next year. That was in the minutes that we approved. So that would be the only other staff update. Does anybody have anything?
Motion to adjourn. Bob Phoenix.
Can I get a
Second.
second? Seconded by Peter. Dave,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Dottie,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned 7:39. Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, have a great night, guys.